VigilanteWilliamson here with a very simple question, and that is, have you seen these weird YouTube ads for Melinda Gates and her, I guess it's a podcast? I'm assuming it's a podcast or something where she has like high profile women and it's supposed to be about sharing the stories of women and men, or no, not men, no men allowed. But sharing the stories of women to show that women matter and all this other stuff. Which women matter? I mean, obviously, it goes well. Humans matter. I don't know why this has to be said, but like, I can't help but to think like, you know what, Melinda Gates, I didn't even know what you looked like until you start spamming the YouTube algorithm and spamming the advertising budget with this podcast. I never knew who you were, and your grand claim to fame and the thing that makes you notable amongst all other people is that you let some psychopathic goofy nerd bust nuts inside of you and gave him babies and then took half his cash. That's what your accomplishment is. That's what you accomplished in this world. That's what your grand story to tell is. You've done nothing. And listen, I don't know her background. Maybe she was like a, corporate lawyer or some shit like that. I don't know. But her claim to fame is letting a psychopathic, crazy, fucked up nerd bust a nut inside her, or bust multiple nuts because they have multiple children, and then taking half his cash years later. That's what she accomplished. And if I'm correct, I think he was already, because I didn't do any research, because I just saw the things. I'm like, I'm gonna just make a fucking video about it. But if I'm correct, he was already like Microsoft Bill. It wasn't like, okay, you took a chance on this nerd. It was like he was already at least at like Windows 3 or something like that. He was already at least a millionaire. And so you just fuck some millionaire nerd who happened to become a billionaire later, let him bust nuts in you, and here you are. And then you're trying to act like you accomplished something. And then even some of the guests, don't get me wrong, I mean, from what I can see, and again, I ain't do a ton of research, I'm just going off of, what they said in the stupid advertisements that you can't skip and what I remember. And so you got like Ava DuVernay, and yeah, she did accomplish a lot in Hollywood or whatever. And then you got like Billie Jean King, who, granted, she was a great tennis player in her own right and her individual accomplishments are noteworthy, but like her claim to fame is just winning a rigged tennis match that was rigged for her to win. If you don't know about her and Bobby Riggs because you're under the age of 50, back in the 70s, they had this like battle of the sexes tennis match. Bobby Riggs had beat a bunch of female tennis players, or at least one or two others. I don't know, because again, I'm under 50, and I wasn't there. But Bobby Riggs was a former men tennis player who was out of his prime, but he was whooping on a couple women in tennis, and then he played Billie Jean King and he lost. But it was, for those who are over 50 who actually remember it, it was a work. It was a work shoot. You know what I mean? He lost on purpose. So Billie Jean King's claim to fame is, like slamming Andre the Giant. You know what I mean? It's cool and everything because you got the people involved, and I like wrestling, but it's wrestling. You know what I'm saying? It's not even real. Like her wrestling match, tennis match, is more noted than all of the real tennis matches that she won. And then you got Michelle Obama. Like, again, all you did is peg some weirdo for like, however long you've been pegging them, and that's it. And so there you go, cuckservatives, because you guys are, gay for everything. You guys are really gay. I gotta say that cuckservatives have gotten super gay super fast. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm just being accurate. But I make fun of liberals too, for you cuckservatives who don't know. So yeah, Michelle Obama, all she did is peg Obama, peg old Barry Soruto, for however years. 40, 50 years. Speaking of other names, if you know the whereabouts of Michael LaVon Robinson of Chicago, who totally existed and was a real human, please let us know. Now, if you were asking Michelle Obama about her back development and about her trap workouts, because her upper back, most men will never have an upper back that developed, men or women. And I don't know if she's deadlifting and she's just, old school calisthenics, just doing a bunch of pull-ups. But that, if you were asking her fitness questions, I would listen. I would say, oh man, I don't know what she does. She's lifting heavy weight though. She's either doing a shit ton of reps with pull-ups, weighted pull-ups, or she's like doing bent over rows, deadlifts. I don't know. She's moving some weight though. She's moving some weight, and that's impressive. But again, all she did was peg somebody important. Like, she didn't do anything. You know what I mean? And again, maybe there are women on this podcast that are valuable to society, but I can't help but to think there's probably a woman out there, you know, having some breakthrough with science or saving somebody's life or doing something that's really pushing society forward. And you're not giving them credit, but you're just giving all these weird famous hoes credit and coming on your podcast and talking about like God whispers or whatever the fuck she said in that dumbass commercial. And they're all smiling and looking weird with all their plastic surgery. It just looks crazy. And I don't get it. I don't get it, man. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, fuck Bill and Melinda Gates and their demonic foundation. And fuck that podcast, whatever the fuck it's called. I'm sure I'll put it in the thumbnail or the title or something.